Good morning, Pankhurst, and welcome to your first math lesson this week. So today is Monday, the 8th of February, 2021, and our learning objective today is can I draw pictograms? So in today's lesson, we will be recapping our learning from year 2 so that we are able to explain why the key is important with a pictogram, to complete a pictogram using a tally chart and key given, to draw a pictogram using an appropriate key. So I've got a lesson starter for you here. Number 1 says, how many bikes are seen in the morning? Okay, so if you have a look at this and then work out the answer, then number 2 says, how much money is there altogether? Number 3 says, calculate 24 times 3. And then number 4 says, what is 345 plus 100? Now, if you take out your mini whiteboards and work the answers out, and then come back to my video when you are ready. Okay, so if you look at question number 1, it says how many bikes were seen in the morning. Now, over here you can see the time, so the 2 times you have in the morning and the afternoon, and then you've got the bikes seen here. Now the key says a picture of 1 bike means 5 bikes. So the 2 ways you could have worked this out is by doing repeated addition. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you could have done, if 1 bike equals 5, it should have been repeated addition. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which gives you 20. Okay, or you could have done 4, because there's 4 bikes and 1 bike equals to 5. So 4 times 5, which gives you 20. Okay, now for question number 2, it says how much money is there altogether? So you have, I'm going to do it here. So you have £10, add £1, add £1, add 10p, add 20p, add 1p equals to. So now let's count all of our pounds together. So our pounds are here. I have 10, 11, 12. So that means the answer is £12. And let's work out the pennies. I have 10 plus 20p, which is 30. 30p plus 1p, which is 31. So I have £12 and 31p. Okay, so over here it says calculate 24 times 3. So you could have done it 2 ways. You could have done it the part whole model way, or the column multiplication way. So with the part whole model, you could have done first, you could have done 20. So we were going to split it 20 times 3. Okay, which gives you 60. And then you could have done 3 times 4, because I have the ones as well. So 4 times 3, which is 12. And then you add them together. So 60 add 12 is 72. So your answer is 72. Or you could have done it using the column multiplication method, which was 24 times 3. Remember, it's important that you put the numbers underneath the correct place value. Okay, now I've got my pen. So 4 times 3 is 12. Remember, then you carry 1 over. Then 3 times 2, that 2 means 20. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. Okay, now it says what is 345 plus 100. You could have done it using the column method way, or you could have you might have done it mentally. So mentally, I will say, because those two are 4, or those two are zeros, I'm not adding anything to these because they're staying the same. So now if I add 3 plus so if I add 300, because that's my 100, plus the 100, that makes it 400. So my answer is 445. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go on to our next slide. So let's do this guided practice. It says, what do you notice about this pictogram? So what do you notice about this pictogram? Okay, where do you need to look to find key information about the pictogram? Okay, if you just think about that. Fantastic. So to find the key information, so what do you notice about this pictogram? With this pictogram, you have your columns and your rows. Okay, now your columns show you basically your headings, so what the information is about, and then it shows you pictures to represent the information. Okay, and then at the same time, the pictures are your key, are the pictures that will be in your keys. So this is what pictogram is. A pictogram represents your numbers using pictures. That's why it's called a pictogram. Then your pictogram also has a key, and it tells you what each picture is worth. So for example, here, each picture of a sun is worth 2 votes. Okay, so now this pictogram is showing me how many people prefer the season. So this is telling me what this pictogram is showing me that is the 4 different seasons and pictures representing how many people prefer that season. And each picture of the sun represents 2 votes. So for example, here, if 1 sun represents 2 votes, that means I need to count in 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So this means 12. There are 12 votes for spring. So 12 people prefer spring. Now let's count this together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 14 people prefer summer, and the reason I counted in 2s is because it's telling me in the key that 1 sun means 2 votes. Now let's count this. You count it. Fantastic. So that's 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Now count this one. Fantastic. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now, where do you need to look to find key information about the pictogram? Have a good think. Where do you think you need to look to find the key information about the pictogram? Fantastic. You need to look at the key, because the key tells you exactly what each picture represents and how much each picture represents. Okay, fantastic. Now let's do this guided practice. It says, use the tally chart to complete the pictogram. How many people does one rectangle stand for? Okay, if you pause the screen now and work it out. and then we will then come back to the video and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so to work this out, I need my division and multiplication knowledge. Okay, so I need to try and remember that. So it says here, if I look at this key, it says that there are 10 people that like the teddy. Okay, and the reason I know this is because when you're tallying, one tally means 1, and we know that this means 5 and then this means 10. So if I look over here, this is telling me 1 rectangle means 2 people. So if I do 10 divided by 2, okay, I know 10 divided by 2 means 5. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. So I know 10 divided by 2. The reason I've done 2 is because 1 rectangle represents 2 people. And the reason I've written 10 is because my tallies show me there's 10. So 10 divided by 2 means 5. So I am going to draw 5 rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now let's look at the next one. So it says blocks. So there are 15 people, 15 plus the 1 here. So 5, 10, 15 plus the 1 here is 16. So I know 16 people like the blocks. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, and the way I can double check that is by doing the inverse. So I could do 8 times 2, which gives me 16. So I know that's correct, but I can also count in 2s on my fingers. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I know it's 8. So I am going to draw 8 rectangles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And another way you could work this out, year 3, is by doing your groups. So now I know 1 rectangle means 2 people. I can draw 2 groups and separate the numbers. Okay, so now it says dolls. 6 people like the dolls, and the reason I know that is because that means 5 and I have 1 extra one there, which is 6. So 6 divided by 2, and the reason I'm doing 2 again is because there's 2 people that represent 1 rectangle, and with the dolls the reason I'm doing 6 is because 6 people like the dolls. Now I'm going to share 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many rectangles do I need? Fantastic, 3. So I only look at 1 group. Okay, so I need 3. 1, 2, 3. And the reason I know that's correct is because I'm going to count the rectangles in 2 and see what number I get. So 2, 4, 6. And that is correct because 6 people like the dolls. Yeah. Now let's do the last one. Puzzle. Oh, it's not 5, it's less than 5. So let's count how many people. Let's count the tallies to check how many people like the puzzles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So 4 people like the puzzles, and I'm going to work my answer out. Okay, so let me get my pen. 4 And the reason I've chosen 4 is because 4 people like puzzles. I'm going to divide it by 2 because 1 triangle means 2. And I'm going to work my answer out by sharing. So now let's share 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've shared 2 in each group, which means I need to make 2 triangles. Now, I want to double check if I'm correct. So I am going to count my rectangles using repeated addition. Okay, and the only reason I'm using repeated addition is because 1 triangle means 2 people. That is the only thing that's on my key. So let's count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I know that is correct. Okay, I know I am correct because that the teddy was 10. Then blocks were 16. So let me just count in 2s again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I know I'm correct there. We've done the dolls. Now let's check the puzzles. We said the puzzles were 4 tallies. Let's check 2, 4. So that is correct. Okay, so you should have done the following. You should have had 5 rectangles for the teddy, 8 rectangles for the blocks, 3 rectangles for the dolls, and 2 rectangles for the puzzle. Okay. Now, how is this pictogram different to the last? Use the information in the tally chart to complete the pictogram. Okay, so how is this different to the last one? So what I'm going to do is I am going to work out my tallies first. So I am going to write down what the total is of my tallies, and then I'm going to draw my pictograms. So I know when a tally looks like that, it's 5. So I am going to count these in 5s because they're all complete 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I know there are 25 lions. Now the elephants, again, I'm going to count in 5s because it's been tallied that way. So 5, 10, 15. I know there are 15 elephants. The giraffe, 5, 10, 15, 20. And the reason I'm counting them in 5s again is because the tally is showing me it's 5. So when a tally crosses over like this, so when a tally has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it crosses over like this, that means 5. So now let's count this, 5, 10, 15. So there's 15 red pandas, and then there's 5 rhinos. Okay, now it's telling me here by looking at the key that 1 circle means 5 animals. Okay, so 1 circle means 5 animals. So if I do 25 divided by 5, yeah, let's count. I'm going to count with my fingers now. So if I do 25 divided by 5, let's see how many circles I need to draw. So I'm going to count in 5s until I get to 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So how many circles do I need to draw? Fantastic. I need to draw 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, year 3, it's a Pankhurst. It doesn't matter how you work it out. You may have used your division, you may have used your dividing knowledge. You may have used your knowledge of doing a column division or sharing. So you may have done circles and shared them. I am going to count in 5s on my fingers because I feel like this is the easiest way for me to do it. Okay, so now the elephants, there are 15 elephants, and I'm going to count in 5s. And the reason I'm going to count in 5s is because 1 circle means 5, and I'm going to count until I get to 15 in 5s. 5, 10, 15. So I am going to draw 3 circles. Okay. Now the next one says 20, so I'm going to count in fives because the key says 5 for one circle and there are 20 giraffes. So I'm going to count until I get to 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. So I am going to draw 4 circles. Okay. Now the panda says 15, so I'm going to count in fives until I get to 15. 5, 10, 15. So that was 3. And the rhinos are 5, and I'm going to count in fives until I get to 5. 5. So I'm going to draw 1. Now this is what your chart should have looked like. Okay. Fantastic. And the way that this pictogram is different to the last one is this key shows 5. One picture representing 5, whereas this key shows 1 picture representing 2s. Okay, now the astronaut has been asked to make a pictogram to show the information in the tally chart. He says he will use the key shown below. Okay, do you agree with the astronaut's choice of key? Explain your answer. So if you pause the screen now, if you pause it in a second, so this is what the astronaut's key looks like. Okay, he's saying he's going to use 1 circle to represent 10 people, and this is what his tally looks like. Do you agree with his choice of key or do you not? Explain your answer. Okay, so I am going to tell you what I think. I do not agree with his choice of key. And the reason for that is because when I counted his tallies, he's got all of the tallies do not total up in a way where I can use 10 to get the answer. Okay, I'll show you why. So I know one group of tallies here means 5. Okay, so if I tally these up in tens, let me work it out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. It wouldn't work there because how am I going to show the representation of these 5 people? Okay, the next one, 10, 20, 25. Okay, again, it wouldn't work because how would I represent these 5 people? Okay, so that's 10. It would work there, but then again, it wouldn't work on the rest. Here, I've got 15. It wouldn't work here because what would I do with this? Yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Okay, what would I do with that then? So no, I do not agree with the astronaut's choice of key because when I added up my tallies for each lunch order, I had 5 people remaining where I've got no key to show what represents them. Okay, so now your independent task. Now it's your turn. Choose between activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3. Then you could challenge yourself with the challenge questions. Now, I just want to explain to you, year 3, you know what activity you should be doing. You know what the best activity for your ability is. Yeah, so do the activity that is for you. Do not spend more than 20-25 minutes doing your activity. Now, if you are a child in class that I challenge, yeah, or I give you extra challenges, can you please do activity 3? Okay, you should not be doing 1 and 2. So if you are a child in class who I challenge, okay, who I give extra challenges to, you should be doing an activity 3. Okay, now activity 1 says use a ruler to draw the tally chart and pictogram. Okay, can you use the tally chart to complete the pictogram? Okay, I'm just going to show you how I would like you to draw it. So it shows me here I've got 2 columns and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Okay, now I am going to show you how I want you to draw it, and you need to be using a ruler. So I am going to use my ruler and I am going to draw a straight line for my tally and pictogram. Okay, this is how it should be used for all. This is how you should be drawing it for all your pictograms and tally charts. Okay, now I have my rectangle. I am going to split it into 2. One side is going to be where I'm drawing my pictograms or doing my tallies, and the other side is going to be where I'm writing the headings. Okay, and then I've split it. Okay, now my headings say birds sighted, and then I have 4 birds that were sighted. So I'm going to write birds sighted, and then I'm going to split it into 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is for activity 1. The 4 rows are just for activity 1. Okay, so it was a crow, pigeon, and whatever the other 2 were. I don't know what, I think it was sparrow or something. Okay, now yeah, it was a sparrow, then it was a robin. Now, so that is what you should have done. So the way I showed you how to draw this, you need to draw the same thing for the tally chart. And then you need to transfer the tally chart information onto your pictogram using this as an example. So 2 birds means 1 box. Now, if you are doing activity 2, it says use a ruler to draw the tally chart and pictogram. Can you use the information in the tally chart to complete the pictogram? So exactly the way I showed on activity 1, you draw your pictogram and tally chart box and split it, and then you represent the information in the pictogram. Then you can use a symbol of your choice. So you can use a symbol that you like. It doesn't have to be a square. It's up to you. Okay. Now, activity 3 says 3 Gandhi are selling tickets for their school play. They record how many tickets they sell for each day. I want you to use a ruler to draw a pictogram to represent this data. And if you go back to activity 1, I showed you how to draw a pictogram. Okay. The only thing with activity 3 is you're going to have an extra row, okay? But you need to draw a pictogram to represent this and make your own key. Now, your challenge is the following, okay? So it says a class is collecting data. So you look at what the question is telling you to do. You collect the data, make a tally chart and pictogram. And the same with 8A and 9A. So what I would like you to do is pause the screen on the activity which is best suited for you. And do not forget to upload your work onto Tapestry. Well done, Pankhurst. Now look forward to seeing your work. See you in your next lesson. Bye.